Powers, shall we get started?
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about...
Get started and get signing. Let's get this thing going. There's some big ones today.
I love it. All right, let's go ahead and start off with some of the big recruiting news. Now, I've just written down a bunch of names that we kind of wanted to keep our eyes on here, and I'm just going to kind of go through them.
All right.
First off, Katy Maid Creek defensive end Toby Hastrup. Now, if you guys don't know, he's had a crazy story. First year playing varsity ball. He actually came over from London and never even touched a football up until the summer, where his strength and conditioning coach, I believe, said, hey, maybe you should try football. Your frame is incredible. So he steps onto the football field. Their first game, Katy Maid Creek's first game against Fort Bend Travis, totaled up 5 sacks and 5 offers to follow that.
Yeah, he broke out in a big way, and he went from, we kind of cast this term like right out of the gate, from unknown to undeniable. Hastrup is an elite talent. He charged up the recruiting rankings list to be one of the top-rated defensive players in the entire state.
Yep.
I think he might be the premier edge rusher in Texas in this class, and he only has 1 season of high school experience, which kind of speaks to his upside, where he's going, because we're just starting to touch the tip of the iceberg. Now we need to wait and see where he's actually going to be playing his college ball. He's scheduled his commitment for 1:40 p.m. today. And you know what? Oregon's had a good day today. They just flipped Naeem Alford, who was one of the top-rated corners nationally from Ohio State, and I got to think that they are sitting in the catbird seat for Toby Hastrup. Could be wrong there. Interested to see where he's going to pick, because he's a guy who didn't grow up a huge fan of college football, because he's not been a football player. So anything could happen in that recruitment.
Yeah, well, and that's the last official visit that he took to before shutting down everything was Oregon. So I know he's interested in Michigan too, but we'll see about that.
What's the recruiting tagline that we always use?
Watch what they do, not what they say. Repeat after me.
Yep.
No, I'm kidding. Excited to see where Toby's going to end up playing college ball at the next level. Alamo Heights athlete Michael Terry III, formerly the top uncommitted prospect in the class of 2025, up until 8:15 this morning, where he officially announced that he's signing to play for the Texas Longhorns. This is a massive get for the Longhorns. I mean, it bumped their class up from number 4 earlier today to the number 1 overall class in the 2025.
Yeah, it was big from that standpoint, certainly from the national perspective, because Texas did rise up over Georgia and Ohio State to be number 1 right now in not only the SEC, right, to take out Georgia, but nationally to also take out Ohio State. And there's some big commitments pending still that they could potentially flip, which you're probably going to bring it up. I'm not going to spoil it. But as far as Terry goes, he's an elite talent. He's the number 1 athlete in the country, not only the state of Texas, the entire country. Can play wide receiver, running back, tight
end, versatile,
linebacker, defensive end, and he had P4 offers at all these spots. So huge get for Texas. It really got signing day started right for the Longhorns and Steve Sarkisian. If you're a Hook'em fan right now, coming off of wins of OU and Texas A&M this year, and potentially now circling the number 1 recruiting class in the country, it's a good time to be a fan in Austin.
Well, you just alluded to him a little bit, so I'll go ahead and mention him now. Louisville offensive tackle Michael Fasusi, currently committed to the University of Oklahoma. He is ranked 5th, I believe, overall in your Hot 100 rankings.
Yep, makes him a 5-star.
Makes him a 5-star. So he committed to Oklahoma, but he took an official visit to Texas, correct?
Yes.
Watch what they do, not what they say. Now, Brent Venables did put out a statement saying that he's going to retain their entire offensive coaching staff earlier today.
That came out today.
Literally a couple minutes ago, and I had that written down because that could sway his decision a little bit, I would say. But from that Michael Terry commitment earlier,
he has a great relationship with Bill Bedenbaugh at Oklahoma. Oklahoma did a tremendous job recruiting the family, not just Michael Fasusi. And that's important to him, because family is important in his recruitment, in his life.
Yeah.
And OU's a little bit closer to home. Whenever this was all popping up, I said, if he steps foot on campus in Austin,
you did say that.
It's over, right?
Yeah.
But he also doubled down. He visited College Station too. So he set that aside today at 2 o'clock at Louisville High School. I'm tuning in for that.
Me too.
Because all the whisperers are saying that he's going to stick with OU. But I have to see what happens.
Yeah, that'll be one that we definitely keep our eye on. Let's talk about Mesquite Horn offensive tackle Lamont Rogers. Now, we even talked about him on Heart and Hustle before when he was flirting with Texas A&M. He recently decommitted from Missouri and flipped to Texas A&M. Very impressive.
Yeah, big get for Texas A&M as they had a spot left in their class for an offensive tackle. Lamont Rogers was the guy that they identified early on should be that target, right? Mm-hmm. And he has true left tackle potential in the NFL and a high ceiling for development. Talking with Courtney Allen at Mesquite Horn, he raves about this guy's work ethic and his improvement every day. Like, he shows up to go to work. He's like a truly highly valued member of that team from a teammate perspective, but he's hungry. Mm-hmm. And he has a basketball background, and you can kind of see that, like that powered forward nimbleness on the football gridiron as well.
Definitely. A lot of other players that have made their decisions today that have maybe committed somewhere, flipped somewhere else, a bunch all over the place, but we got to keep it moving here. But one more thing I wanted to mention before we start diving into the 13 FBS programs. You recently named your 5th star in the Hot 100 Rising rankings, and that is Duncanville quarterback Keelan Russell, who signed with Alabama today. Actually signed on FaceTime with Ryan Williams, their freshman star wide receiver there at Alabama. That's fun.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And he is a stat-producing giant at Duncanville, and he owns 2 state championship rings already. So it's that championship pedigree combined with his ability to protect the football. He's only thrown 4 interceptions, I think, over the last 2 seasons, playing what I would say is the most difficult 6A schedule in Texas, or one of the most difficult schedules. He's performed at a high level, he's been consistent, and he doesn't make mistakes, and that's what Alabama needs to be able to get back on top of the college football world.
Was formerly committed to SMU.
Yeah.
And then flipped it to Alabama. So big get for the Crimson Tide. They're excited to see.
Stay tuned, SMU fans, because we got some good news coming for you, though.
Yeah, plenty of top-rated prospects you guys have been able to pull in, so we're very excited to highlight those here in a bit.